feminism, especially for the second one. So when I say BY, you say OB. BY? OB. BY? OB. Right, thank you first and foremost for like the opportunity and the platform. I'm really, really grateful. And to get into it, I'm gonna do two pieces. One of them shows you a bit of my personality. The other one does as well, but the other one's kind of for everybody. So I've got a mouthful. So let me open up. It's okay, you can look, because it's time that we fuck. Patriarchy. I find it funny when patriarchy tries to oppress us. See, all Eve had to do was eat an apple, and now your masculinity is so contingent on what you are to others. Based on a mouse you feed, but Eve was tempted by an animal, so who are you to me? And patriarchy thought food wasn't enough, so they fed us lies. If the rebellious choice wasn't enough to go by, let it be known if we want, women can screw the whole of humanity's mind. Firstly, I might have come from your womb, but now I give life. Secondly, I've got 2 melons, bigger than the 1 apple Eve made you eat, which I now use to feed our baby or your sexual desire. I refuse to keep hearing men are supposed to be providers. But if men are providers and women are gifters, money and sperm, but what I make out of it is so much bigger. You say we're complex original sinners, but every war that has erupted came from the hands of tyrannical male figures. Now I don't like snakes, but I like naked bodies. Easier to tempt me when your masculinity is matched with the rawness of our mobility. And because I'm inclusive, I like you balanced with a hint of femininity. There's no feminist agenda behind this, I'm just critiquing patriarchy. Because if I'm being honest, I don't think we're equal. I think because we're different, we can push for the best of humanity. And instead the system thought it could carve out the trajectory of our identities. And it's just wild to me. It's clear to see that our growing influence is scary to the fools that thought their notions were the key, but women got something more life-changing we can open against the doors you shut on us, because pussy power continues to threaten your legacy. A guy once told me when I asked him if sex and marriage is a choice, he said, fuck no. If he wants sex and his woman doesn't, he could go in because he owes it to his libido. There's a reason domestic violence isn't taken seriously in many third world countries. Second nature is a culture which is to store power from religion to praise as kind of submissive blindness. Firstly, generational trauma encouraging women to be spineless. Let's not be mindless and take a moment for the women who've been made to feel they don't deserve any better. The amount of emotional resilience instilled in us only allows for patriarchy's entitlement to fester. Okay, so maybe there's a slight feminist agenda here to consume, but only because we've gone from taking it to fighting it to using our sexuality's oppression as a strength of its own. And I truly thought that if women weren't as heavily shamed when their men went to work and left them all alone, they would have finally willingly spread their legs and felt what it was like to truly moan. And this has nothing to do with Western women liberty, but everything to do with the pricks telling me what's natural to think, feel, and how to treat my own body. Making it feel like a transaction to ask for help anytime, because this guy will think he owns me. I stand before you as a woman with a big personality to say the juice from the apple Eve ate now drips from our lips, because we were placed on this earth to take action, not indulge in the hypothetical. My good sister knew in this patriarchal system we were going to have to instill worth that was ethical. I like it when we're somewhere between modest and radical, capitalising on each other's strengths. I don't want to bathe in hypocrisy and look at the world wondering where his order went. These roles shouldn't be defined socially, because it takes autonomy away from the individual, and I can see the reality of our different biological bodies without expecting our interests and desires to be stereotypical. But there's a gag to this. Sometimes we should work within a system to get what we want, not against it. If we give birth, but male leaders make decisions for our body, and we stroke their ego even when it's fake for us but fits into their fantasy, and we make a home, nurture our kids, cook food to eat, maintain his reputation regardless of the violations we have seen, then maybe amongst this there's a logical fallacy, used to manipulate what we think of our femininity. You see, I just started this off being funny, but realised the world women can create, because we're already scholars in biology. The independent lady can shut her eyes and do maths. We can all get quite far capitalising on some sexist tags. Unless it just doesn't fit into who you are, and that's what's been the issue. But in this system, men are victims of this just as much as you. I want us to ask the questions that can be so pivotal. Is my intention going on this rampage to draw attention and not pivotal? I'm steering away from constructing conclusions. Patriarchy is too complex to have a simple solution. I've not even touched the half of it. This is all too confusing. I just know if we move responsible for our own actions, we're starting a revolution. There's nothing like a whisper. If we all choose our roles right, we can all be a lot richer. You see, I've been fortunate enough to be born in this part of the world because I won't feel the greatest levels of female oppression. I have complete compassion for the women who may only feel worthy when they've gone to heaven, who can't even utter actions of expression. But with the room we've been forced for experience, the system may still dismiss us as unserious because it's always been rooted in favour of patriarchy, to the point a male nurture will never be seen or praised as femme. It's never been about breaking social constructs for women, but taking from our influence. That's why when men do the female minimum, they're praised like they're the 1%. And non-hetero men can feel an ounce of this ignorance because all the system has done is change actions without a mindset which just practices cognitive dissonance. Now, in our same breath, our male counterparts definitely don't get as much sympathy. The way submission is instilled in us, bravery is quintessential for their identity. Looking upon the examples, I now recognise true power has always been mine. We've all just been systems and victims of the system, and our mindset is now the byproducts, from war to culture to familial stuff, to fundamentalist ideals exasperated from the word of God, evangelizing religious order that always placed men on top. But religion didn't cause this problem, power did. Humanity's selfish need to benefit themselves and feel superior created the system, making all our lives and words a commodity, forming the origins of capitalism. And because men did hold all the power, they consistently navigated what was next. Now we're here as brave women because we've broken through the glass ceilings that patriarchy would project. But the patriarchy really set us back. In its fatal attacks, maybe it set trends to let us know the preferences alone didn't need to be a must. But if you pray at me, I'll answer, who are you to us? Okay, so men wore dresses even before us. High heels and crop tops, there's things patriarchy can claim they first had. I might manspread to send an ode to you when I wear your G-strings and handbags. But don't get it twisted. In all the chests we have, you're just a nipple. I mean, to be truthful here, not sound so cynical. Let's rate how things can coexist. Like how you can still be a fair man, but rather have the cook be your missus. Like how you can love freestyling tasks, but appreciate a plan. Like how you can still be a feminist and want a gentleman. Powers of patriarchy, because through the premises that have been set, we know what we don't want next. In the weakness of men, we can see our own strength that can be never taken out of us. And I'm still trying to understand what it means to restore balance, but maybe we can embrace the difference that makes us more than enough together. No good team has everyone play the same role. Let's erase ourselves from that grey area. The toll of patriarchy shows us it's time we work within this hierarchy to forgive, but not condone, and to not see these rules as established, but as a scaffold. Thank you. So that was the first piece. My final piece is a reminder to myself, but also to you, that weakness isn't a permanent state, it's a transit to triumph. And so at the end, I want you to interact with me when I tell you to. But yeah, it's called When Times Get Tough. When times get tough, I get tougher. I don't break, I bounce back like rubber. When treading on thin lines, I might just snap, and life being a bitch just means I'll clap back. My strength is a facet. And when my resilience is pushed to extremes, it morphs into elastic, and these extremes affect the waves of my sensitivity, rising above and going under when it needs to be. I've accepted the rules of this game, so now you can just call me Mercy MVP. See, I won't beg for time to be my companion. So when times get rough, I remember where I came from. I will not be the sacrificial lamb, I already have one. Word to Mac Miller, God is fair. Ladder of grace for all the brave prepared. So when you find yourself questioning what all the effort is for, you're still the one holding the rope when your faith and fear are playing tug of war. You see, when times get hard, I can't go soft. I might fall, but at least I'll be comforted by the rock. And I'll hold on tight whilst the waves of life's hardship try to submerge me deep into the sea. And social media's algorithms concerned about whose grass is green. I'll embrace all the colours which I can be, black, blue and purple. I'll come to terms with the volume of the tide that has me tumbling round and round because pain and purpose come in full circles. Then I'll emerge out the ocean because I managed to just beat it. And those tough times made me a chameleon but never defeated. My appearance is now more than the seams I wear, and the material I'm made of might just tear. But only to expose the percussive volume of the chest I have, beaten against the clanging symbolism of the experiences I've had, because I'll shout trouble down. I'll get far on my feet because I'll spend a lot of time on my knees if I need to. I sing the tune of my desires because life just reverbs what's within you. My spirit made completed by the tribulations that I've prayed through. I am divinely orchestrated by a choir of angels. You see, I won't be made insignificant by anything. So when times get tough, I won't play the violin, but maybe the ukulele. Because my instrumental comprises of experienced heartstrings. So when times get tough, I get tougher. And the pain that sharpens my elegant wings prepares me to transcend a time that's rougher. So repeat after me. When times get tough, I get tougher.
When times get tough, I get tougher.
I don't break, I bounce back like rubber.
I don't break, I bounce back like rubber.
When treading on thin lines, I might just snap.
When treading on thin lines, I might just snap.
And life being a bitch,
Life being a bitch,
just means I'll clap back.
just means I'll clap back.
Thank you.